This episode continues with Kamari, who has arrived at the location where Vilhaze is. Kamari is naturally shocked and worried to see Vilhaze there, helpless. Millicent tells Kamari to calm down, assuring her that Vilhaze is still alive. Millicent advises Kamari not to rush, as after so long, they can finally have a face-to-face conversation. She then starts the conversation by asking Kamari how she felt on that day. Kamari is, of course, confused about which day she's referring to. Millicent goes on to explain that she's talking about exactly 3 years ago, the day she tried to take Kamari's locket. The scene then shifts to the past, when Millicent received guidance from her father to become stronger than anyone else. The lessons from her father were clear and straightforward. Politics ran in the Blue Knight family's blood. In the world of vampires that valued strength, weak politicians were destined to be prey. Millicent's father then introduced a teacher named Amatsu who had come from Heavenly Paradise. From that point on, Amatsu would teach Millicent combat techniques. Amatsu's treatment was very harsh, even when they had just met. Amatsu told Millicent that her father hoped she possessed a special power called core implosion. Core implosion was a unique ability not bound by the physical rules of this world. It was said to be capable of splitting the earth and shaking the stars in the sky. The likelihood of inheriting this power was extremely low. However, according to Amatsu's research, it indicated that Millicent might be able to awaken this power through special training. The special training involved maintaining a strong heart in the face of various difficulties. Core implosion greatly affected one's mental condition, and the quickest way to train someone's mental state was to make them feel that their life was in danger. Amatsu said all this while emphasizing a ritual tool, a staff, pressed against Millicent's abdomen, causing her pain. Millicent was forced to train her mental strength by enduring the unhealing pain. With a resolute heart, Millicent accepted the challenge and asked Amatsu to train her. To cut the story short, it had been a month since Amatsu started training Millicent, but she still hadn't developed core implosion. Millicent's father was furious upon learning this, even though Millicent had done her best and her body was covered in wounds. Her father, who only desired that power, directed all his frustration towards Millicent and blamed her alone. He also said that if things continued like this, he would be ridiculed by the Cutest blood family, as his descendant was useless. The scene then shifts to when Millicent was sitting in the schoolyard. She heard a rumor that someone from another class could use magic that others couldn't. Yes, there was a rumor that a certain student possessed the ability of core implosion. Curious, Millicent immediately began to seek information about it. She had eventually located a female student suspected of having core implosion abilities. This girl turned out to be Vilhaze, and Millicent asked her to demonstrate her power. Vilhaze explained that her core implosion allowed her to foresee the future of those who drank her blood, which she called Pandora poison. Millicent then bit Vilhaze's finger and tasted her blood. Instantly, Vilhaze could see Millicent's future. Millicent was curious about what Vilhaze saw, but Vilhaze averted her gaze and seemed reluctant to reveal it. After being pressured by Millicent, Vilhaze finally said that Millicent was a very pitiful person. Upon hearing this, Millicent became extremely angry, kicked Vilhaze into a corner, and began to beat her with the help of 2 friends. Eventually, Vilhaze became helpless, and Millicent intended to kill her. Millicent prepared to unleash a magical explosion right in front of Vilhaze's face. But before she could cast the spell, Kamari appeared from behind, telling her to stop. Millicent's friends realized that Kamari came from the Cutest blood family. Upon hearing this, Millicent immediately turned her gaze towards Kamari. She remembered the words of her teacher, Amatsu, when he told her that she had no talent for awakening core implosion, but possessed an amazing talent in another field. Millicent asked, "What should I do from now on?" Amatsu replied that Millicent was free to do whatever she wished. If she loved someone, then love them. But if she hated someone, then kill them. Amatsu then asked if there was someone she wanted to kill, to which Millicent nodded. Amatsu continued, instructing her to do everything she could to kill that person. Then Millicent's target changed, and now she began to bully Kamari. This was because Millicent held a grudge since her father had compared her to the girl from the Cutest blood family. While assaulting Komari, she told her that she was a miserable person because it seemed like Millicent had problems in her life. In order to shatter Komari's mental state, Millicent had researched her past, including the fact that the locket Komari wore was an heirloom from her mother. Her memory was interrupted when she reached out to take the locket, and she realized that she had been killed by Komari's core implosion. Her life had changed drastically since then. Komari's father had isolated Millicent's entire family with false accusations of treason. Millicent was expelled from the academy, banished from the country, and her family was torn apart with no place to call home. Eventually, she joined the terrorist organization Inverse Moon. Millicent has been harboring her desire for revenge for 3 years now. She wants to kill Komari. Hearing this, Komari thinks that their situations are similar. Both of them have not been able to recover from the trauma of 3 years ago and have become lost souls who cannot live well. Johan then wakes up from his unconscious state and tells Komari to escape from the place. He warns her about the danger posed by Millicent, who possesses a ritual tool and shows a wound on his stomach that won't heal. But Komari apologizes for being late and promises to save him. Johan admits that he had been working with Millicent to kill Komari, but now wants to help her. Before he can finish his sentence, a magical beam pierces his leg, causing him pain. It's Millicent's magic attacking Johan and instructing him to stay quiet, as it's time for Millicent and Komari to kill each other. Millicent laughs heartily, infuriating Komari. She takes out a magical stone and throws it at Johan, causing it to explode. She believes that if Johan dies now, she will be safe until he rises again. Millicent launches a relentless magical assault at Komari. Komari, running towards Millicent to save Vilhais, manages to dodge all of Millicent's attacks. Millicent continues to attack her, and Komari uses a magical stone to create a shield, but it gets pierced and hits Komari, causing her to drop some of the magical stones she had. Komari is momentarily knocked back by Millicent's attack, but when she sees Vilhais in need of her help, her determination is reignited. She throws a magical stone into the air and sprints toward Millicent. Millicent assumes that Komari has lost her wits and is attacking her without a plan. The magical stone thrown by Komari earlier explodes above Millicent's head, emitting a blinding light. Komari is already behind her, attaching an explosive magical stone to Millicent's back. Then, Komari throws another magical stone that transforms into a massive boulder, and it lands on Millicent. Millicent screams in agony as the huge stone strikes her. Komari's strategy succeeds, and she walks towards Vilhais to save her. As she is about to reach her, a knife stabs her leg, revealing that Millicent is still alive. After successfully stabbing her, Millicent furiously beats Komari with her hands while uttering insults. Millicent also wants Komari to use her core implosion power, but Komari says she knows nothing about it. Millicent then realizes that Komari indeed has no knowledge of core implosion. What Millicent assumed was that Komari had the courage to come there alone because she was going to confront Millicent with her core implosion power. However, Komari explains that she came there solely to save Vilhais. While enduring the pain, Komari confides that her body is indeed petite, and she lacks athletic abilities. She's just a pathetic vampire who can't use magic. She was very scared on the journey to this place, with her legs trembling, and she had considered turning back several times. However, she didn't want to run away again. She felt the need to make an effort for the people who cared about her. Hearing this, Millicent becomes very angry and jealous of Komari. She wants to see Komari suffer even more. She turns away and decides to kill Vilhais right in front of Komari. Quickly, Komari shields Vilhais with her body to protect her. Millicent, who is already very angry, resumes her magical attacks on Komari. Komari's body is thrown, and she crashes into Vilhais. Komari falls to the ground and is now powerless, thinking that she might die there. She feels sad because she can't defeat Millicent or save Vilhais. Komari knows she's weak, but she doesn't want to accept it. Faintly, Vilhais' voice is heard from above Komari. Vilhais apologizes to Komari and says she is ready to accept any punishment, extending her bloodied hand and letting her blood drip into Komari's mouth. Vilhais' core implosion power is activated, and she sees a vision of Komari standing confidently in the midst of a vast grassy field. She tells Komari that she will never lose. Suddenly, Kamari's core implosion power also activates. Elsewhere, Empress is seen sitting on her throne, holding a glass of blood. She says that she can't wait any longer. She wants Kamari to reveal the most potent core implosion power that has never appeared in the history of the Empire for 1,000 years. The scene then shifts to the actual battlefield, where Kamari is already seen standing tall with red eyes and a highly intimidating aura. With lightning-fast movements, Kamari attacks Millicent, who can't evade her. Millicent is surprised as to why Kamari's magical energy has suddenly increased drastically. She only now remembers that 3 years ago, when Millicent wanted to take her locket, Kamari drank her blood. With all of her might, Millicent uses a special level magic to attack Kamari. At the same time, Kamari's forces arrive at the scene and ask her to avoid the dangerous magical attack. However, Kamari remains unfazed and effortlessly deflects the special level magic. Millicent loses control and wants to attack Kamari again with magic from her left hand. Enraged, Millicent refuses to give up and rushes to stab Kamari with her ritual weapon. But once again, her hand is severed before reaching Kamari. Kamari then chokes Millicent with her hand, and Millicent, feeling powerless, finally realizes that she is the one who is weak. Kamari finishes off Millicent by strangling her with her hand, ending the battle. The next morning, Kamari, who was already in her room, woke up and saw Vilhaze sitting beside her bed. She wanted to greet Vilhaze, but suddenly felt an incredible pain in her leg. Kamari remembered her previous battle, and she asked Vilhaze if they were now in heaven. Vilhaze replied that they were in the real world, and Kamari had won. Vilhaze then recalled when Kamari's father told her about Kamari's core implosion, which first awakened when Kamari was 3 years old. The first time she drank blood during dinner, she killed everyone present without exception. After that incident, Kamari became averse to blood. Her father didn't want Kamari to suffer, so she didn't remember core implosion, he let it be. Kamari then asked Vilhaze what she had won, to which Vilhaze replied, the past. A while later, Kamari read a newspaper with the headline, Mole Knight Empire captures a female member of Inverse Moon. Kamari, who couldn't remember anything, assumed that someone had come to rescue them at that time. Kamari then asked Vilhaze what she would do next since the issues from 3 years ago were resolved. So, she didn't need to be her maid anymore. Upon hearing this, Vilhaze was surprised and saddened, realizing that Kamari no longer needed her. Vilhaze argued that she had no choice but to become a thief, sneak into Kamari's room, and steal her underwear. Kamari protested, suggesting that she should at least steal something she could sell. Kamari eventually gave in and decided that Vilhaze should stay by her side. Hearing this, Vilhaze became conceited and thought that Kamari was proposing to her. Kamari shouted, "It's not like that."
Na